as I said earlier, the DNA of what they need to be offensively, we saw enough of it last night to believe that it's there and can be what they need it to be. But now they just need to sustain it. And it'll get better as the year goes on. I really do think that the upside is still there for the whole team. That was a really hard game against a really good opponent last night. That's a tough barometer to start the season with.
All right, before I let you go, it's been forever that, you've worked with Marty Lyons. Now, you have history with Anthony Beck, but was it weird yesterday?
It was. It was weird getting on the bus for the first time, and Marty wasn't sitting in the back of the bus, So, I texted him before the game, and, we talked during the week. Anthony's great, and we've been friends for a long time. So I couldn't ask for, a better landing spot. But 22 years.
That's a long time.
It's hard to just flip the switch. I don't know that anybody that even covers our business realized it, but Marty and I had the longest uninterrupted pairing in New York broadcasting, sports-wise.
Wow.
No other booth, every other sports booth in New York, radio and television, had experienced some change over the last 22 years except ours.
Well, it must have been difficult, but I did listen to the second half. You guys sounded seamless. You did a great job.
Yeah, Anthony made it easy as it could be. But, Marty's my brother forever. So, I went from not even knowing him at all to him becoming one of my best friends over the last 22 years. So, I'm sure you know that feeling, right? It's when you become, really tight with the guys that you work with, it says a lot. And who spends more time with their broadcast partners than a guy who does baseball?
Yeah.
Right? So, you see those guys every single day.
Yeah, but you see Michael's struggling with you see what Bob. You see what's going on with Michael and John Flaherty, though. He's struggling.
Why are you perpetuating this nonsense?
Too
Peter?
soon. Too soon.
Why don't you stand down for another hour and a half? Bob, thank you. We'll talk to you next Tuesday, I guess.
Absolutely. We're just slipping a little revenge there for the hour and 15 minutes.
I'll talk to you next. I'll talk to you next Tuesday around 4:30, 4:45.
Goodbye, Bob.
Great. Look forward to it. See you.
It's so funny because we like to obfuscate, right, Don? Don't bring attention to that, Peter. But I did say at the beginning that Peter had an appointment, so we weren't hiding that. But then we never mentioned it again. And Bob just blew up your spot like never before.
You don't expect it from a guest, but I can't be mad at him because that means that he listens to the first part of the show before we're here.
He was.
So I appreciate. Now you know why though? Because we know Bob likes to get them words. As they say, as the great RJ says, Bob likes to get them words. He's going to get on this show and make an impact. So he wants to listen to the first hour before he gets on.
You know what we're talking about.
So he can get on and bob it up. And that's exactly what he does.
Bob it up.
Or, as was just said, Bob, I was just taking you in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, good for you.
Let's go to Chris in the UPS truck.
God bless.
More UPS. God bless. God bless.
Hey, what's up? Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hey, Chris.
I'm actually impressed. This is the first time that I've heard Jets talk this long. So everybody at my facility is they all listen to you guys now because I told them about all the ways to listen. So they're consistent people to listen. So they told me to call and tell you guys that they're all Jets fans. I just want to say the Jets ain't going to win the Super Bowl. Next year they're not going to win the Super Bowl. The Jets, for the first time, I picked them as my defensive fantasy league. This is the first time I even seen a defensive team give up a negative point. That was crazy. And it's supposed to be the best, one of the best defenses, and against a team that didn't have the best player in the NFL. I'm a Giant fan, so I'm not going to talk too much. We're going to suck till maybe I die. Who knows? But the Jets is trash.
Well, wait, Chris, how old are you?
I'm 34.
No, you've got 60 more years on Earth. They'll win before that.
No, I don't know with everything going on. But what I really wanted to say was I didn't see anything with the Jets. I do agree with Don. It was impressive to see actual quarterback go up to the line because all I watch is Giants. So I'm unfortunately I'm stuck with Daniel. So to see somebody go up to the line and like break down the play and go through his reads as he's calling, well, after he calls cut and not stare down the receiver, it was really impressive. But what you guys said in Island Hahn and Bart Scott, when you guys said before the year started that as long as they hold the team under 19 points or something, they're going to average 19 to 25 points a game, which they scored 19 points. But to give up,
yeah, but
30,
Chris, one thing, and we thank you for that wasn't 19, as Don said. That was lipstick on a pig. That last touchdown. They got the difference in the two teams is so much more than the final score. That's why I don't think the Jets are winning the Super Bowl this year. I don't think the Jets are going deep in the playoffs. Maybe I'm going to be wrong. But from what I saw, there's so much of a disparity between a team that is possibly going to the Super Bowl and them. Why should it be that much?
Well, the best thing you could say is, well, right now, you're right. But there's a lot of season left to play. They can change it.
But Don, they played a team without one of its best players, if not the best player.
But a very good team, at least.
Right, but without Christian McCaffrey.
But would McCaffrey have done any better?
No.
Than those numbers?
And
so that kind of tells you that it's... Again, I'm not going to take anything away from Christian McCaffrey, but this is why we talk about not taking running backs high, is because when you have a functioning offense with that kind of coaching behind it and those kind of holes to run through, you're going to get yours. So,
do you want to know the most troubling thing, though? Do you guys remember what my biggest gripe was about my crappy Commanders game on Sunday?
Tell us.
I came in. I said they could not stop anyone. It was like whatever. I mean, the Jets broke a record for not stopping someone. I mean, what, they score on 8 straight drives?
8 straight drives.
So, like, as bad. I came in telling you guys, well, I found out that the Commanders don't have a defense. The Jets said, hold my beer, and we're even worse.
But they're supposed to. That's why I think they'll bounce back.
They're supposed to what?
It's a tough night. Play better defense.
Right, correct.
I don't know what the Commanders have a pretty...
No, they should be better also.
Good,
but I mean,
the Jets are supposed to be a top 5 defense.
They're supposed to be a very stout defense. You can't imagine they're going to be that way. But guys, this is not the first time that we've come into a season very excited about the Jets defense, and at first they don't show you exactly what they are. So give them a little time.
Now, Peter, I'm just curious, as one of the 3 guys that host the show.
Sure.
Do you have enough prep time to give us an ENN that's worthy of the show?
Wait, you think that what I'm intimating here,
right,
is that you think I wasn't prepping all day and all night for the big ENN?
That's the allegation.
Allegation.
It's. I couldn't be more disgusted by what you're suggesting.
You know how I came to that allegation, Peter?
Go ahead.
I studied the back of your baseball card, and that's what you usually do.
But hold on, Paul, real quick. See, this isn't like a Yankees acquisition where the back of their baseball card says they bat .330 and get 27 home runs, show up to the Yankees and play like absolute garbage. I'm the kind of player that surprised you. Back of your baseball card tells you that. But if you were to look at the way I've played since I arrived at the 4:30 ENN,
right,
you'd say this is a very prepared segment every day.
All right.
And that's what you're going to get next. You kidding me?
That's all I was wondering. Don't take it a bad way.
How dare you?
Hey, I talk for a living, unlike Peter and Wither.
Want to keep your hairline where it is? Through Hims.com, you can explore a range of options that work best for you, so you can grow visibly thicker and fuller hair in just 3 to 6 months. Keep it looking strong for years to come with doctor-trusted ingredients like finasteride, minoxidil, and a blend of supplements that support healthy hair. 3 in 4 Hims customers say they wish they started using hair treatment earlier. Get ahead now to keep the hair you love. Get started today at Hims.com. When we started Warby Parker, we just sold glasses, and only online. But people liked them a lot. So we offered more things, like sunglasses and contacts. And then we thought, what if we sold eyewear online and in stores? So we did that. And now we have stores in neighborhoods all over. There you can chat with friendly opticians and get eye exams from top-notch doctors. Now, no matter where you go, we've got your eyes covered.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. So you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today
Let's explore your future with Udemy. You can learn how to program and build websites, study design and create logos, improve your presentation skills, and sell your ideas. With Udemy, you can learn practical skills from thousands of online courses taught by real-world experts. Explore your future. Udemy.
Here's something every parent, human parent, squirrel parent, can relate to. Time goes by fast. So the sooner you start investing for your child's future, the better. Acorns is how you do it. Ta-da! Look at that. Beautiful. Download Acorns right now and invest in your babies and your baby's baby. Acorns. Grow your oak.
Switch to Square and join over 4 million businesses worldwide. Start with our point of sale. More than a system, it's the brain of your business. Train your staff in minutes and connect your POS to a KDS to handle orders ASAP. And with Square Banking, get a loan quickly for everything from small repairs to the biggest dreams. Gain time and peace of mind with restaurant tools that bring everything together. Switch to Square today. Visit square.com to get started.
Have you heard? Soda's not a dirty word anymore. Introducing Poppy. It's the iconic, refreshing flavor you crave, but with 3 grams of sugar. The future of soda is now. Poppy. Soda's back.
With Gold Bond's healing formulations of 7 moisturizers and 3 vitamins. For all your skins. Gold Bond.
If you're an asbestos victim, pay close attention. Billions of dollars are being paid out to people like you. We should know. We're Whites in Luxembourg, the law firm that already won over $9 billion for men and women just like you. That's right, over $9 billion for mesothelioma sufferers and their families. We know you're short of money, and we know you're short of time, so we fight hard. Call Whites in Luxembourg at 917-LAWYERS. That's 917-LAWYERS. Whites in Luxembourg, winning big for the little guy.
Dear Triathlon, let's splash through rushing rivers, take on iconic trails, and race straight to the top. What's the point of winning if you can't kick back and enjoy the view? Yours, Toyota SUVs.
Lease a new RAV4, the best-selling small SUV in America with all-wheel drive for just $319 a month. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Chris here, back here for the Michael K. Show. An offensive explosion to start the homestand is brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. The Royals jumped out to a 2-0 lead when in the bottom of the 4th, Jason Dominguez would open the floodgates for the Yankees offense. His steal of third and scoring on the throwing error began a 10-run outburst for the Bombers. On that same play, Oswaldo Cabrera walked, bringing Alex Verdugo to the plate, and he puts the Yankees in front with a 2-run shot, his first since August 24th. The Royals would seesaw back out in front 4-3. Then Aaron Judge would tie the game at 4 with a ribby single. Austin Wells put the Yankees ahead for good with this blast, a 3-run shot. He ties a career best with 4 RBI, his 9th multi-ribby game this season. Yankees win 10-4. Tonight, the first line of defense for the Yanks is Marcus Stroman, who just earned the Yankees nomination for the Roberto Clemente Award. Then Stroh goes toe-to-toe with Seth Lugo, who's tied for second in the majors in the AL in wins with the Jays' Jose Berrios. Each have 15, one off the pace of Chris Sale and Tariq Skubal. Coverage on Yes for the middle game of this 3-game set begins tonight at 6 with a Meredith Marakovitz batting practice takeover show, followed by the pregame, and first pitch is scheduled for a little after 7. It's the Yankees and the Royals. Coverage starting at 6 right here on Yes, and streaming, of course, on the Yes app.
Everyone, welcome to ENN. Ray Rowe.
On TUE.
I'd like to, first of all, thank our friends at Security Dodge. Go see Michelle Scalisian.
Get some!
Yeah!
Let's start off by saying good evening to Michael.
I hate the Jets, don't I?
And to Don.
Bart Jones is a really good-looking guy.
To myself. Bob, I was just taking you in. and to myself. So he wants to listen to the first hour before he gets on so he can get on and bob it up. And lastly, to Bob Wischusen.
Michael, for the first hour and 15 minutes of the show, where the hell was Peter?
I give credit where credit is due. That's good stuff from Bob. All right, guys. So we've talked about Monday Night Football, obviously, but there's a controversy, a non-Jets related controversy that came from Monday Night Football, and that was the Lisa Salters interview with Jordan Mason after the game, where he suggested that he may have, in fact, been set to get the start since Friday night. Let's hear the question. This is after the game on ESPN.
When did you find out that you were going to be starting?
When did I find out? Maybe Friday night, something like that. I always prepare. I mean, we went through training camp. I was RB1 at training camp, so, just been preparing from there and just,
Oh, no. Well, Michael, that's not good. Because Christian
when
McCaffrey
I was listening, I said that's not good.
Yeah, Christian McCaffrey was still questionable at that point, so he shouldn't have known, in fact, that he was playing. And I guess someone had a conversation with him between that moment and the presser a few minutes later.
You think so?
Yeah, because things came up again during the post-game presser.
When did you find out that you'd be in the starting lineup?
That question right there is why I'm at. That's why I don't like really talking to media, because you say one thing wrong, and then, I don't know. Just skip that question.
That is
the
not
media.
his fault.
It's always the media.
But that's
it's
not
the
his...
filthy, disgusting media that you gave a stupid answer.
Well, wait a minute.
Can't both be true.
All right. I defend the media, and the media didn't do anything wrong here. And players don't want to talk to the media. But the 49ers, that's their fault. You're talking to a kid about the fact that he's going to be playing in a game in which the guy he's replacing is only listed as questionable. Then you coach him up and tell him, listen, if anybody asks, you found out game day. Like that, right? I mean, the player's not supposed to know all the rules and everything. He was answering the question honestly. It was an honest question. It was an honest answer. It's the 49ers that led the poor kid out there.
Right, because Lisa Salters didn't mean anything.
No, it was curious.
She thought he was going to say, I found out earlier today.
Hour. Right, exactly. She was just going for the cute story,
right?
The feel-good story of he found out and then he went and then he played a great game.
Then he answers it honestly because the 49ers didn't give a heads up to tell him, hey, we're not supposed to tell you this. So if anybody asks, you found out the day of the game.
But so you want to blame the 49ers, right?
Yes.
So they don't coach him up. He goes out there, he says the wrong thing, and then blames the media for saying the wrong thing. And welcome to the United States of America in 2024.
Well, blame the media?
Well, he said he doesn't like talking to the media. They don't like talking to the media. Nobody coaches me up.
I was looking for that. You found it before me.
Right. Do you think any of these players want to talk to the media?
No. Well, the ones that are smart knows that it helps their brand and their future outside of the sport.
But I do feel bad for the kid. He has a career game, gets asked the question, and now his organization's in trouble. Now, if he was told, if anybody asks you, you found out day of the game, and he screwed up and didn't remember, all right, that's on him. But I just have a feeling they just didn't think it was going to come up. It did, and then he looks like the bad guy. I think the 49ers are the bad guy, in my opinion.
Aaron Rodgers, of course, completes his first game as a Jet, throws his first touchdown as a Jet in the loss, but he returned to Pat McAfee today. Had a lot to say and talked about how this Jets offense could be better.
Yeah, we got to get the ball more to G. I don't know how many targets he finished with, but probably got up the number. We didn't have many plays last night. We had a 12-play touchdown drive. We had some 3-and-outs. We turned the ball over twice within the first 3 plays of a drive. And we put together one more decent drive to score. So it wasn't sustained drives. We were obviously weren't on the field a whole lot either. They, I think, scored on a bunch of drives in a row. But that being said, the defense holding them to field goals, we got to get ourselves back in the game. And when we have a chance to make it a one-score game or to even it up, we got to do that. And we just didn't do it. So we all got to play a little bit better. But, I think it was a good test for us to see where we're at and that we're going to be a team that's going to ascend throughout the season.
I'm not going to talk about Rodgers because I don't want to be the hater on the show.
Well, I mean, you can't help it. You're part of the
media.
The media. The lying media. Like me and my friend Bobby, we were trying to straighten things out in this country, but apparently this country just isn't ready for change. You know? That's the unfortunate part. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's actually a presidential debate tonight.
I heard.
Yes. And the election itself is coming up in November. I was doing some research. So, if you should do the research yourself, I'll do the research.
I love Bobby.
And unfortunately, guys, Bobby's not going to be in it. I don't know if you know that. He dropped out.
Still write him in, though, right?
I'll write him in, sure.
He's on some ballots.
He's on some ballots, that's right. So I'm gonna move to a state where I can vote for my guy Bobby. That's how I feel. Hey guys, Jason Dominguez got a little hit last night in the Yankees 10-4 win. Let's hear from the Martian.
I was a little nervous when I get to the field, but as soon as I start playing and go away.
How did you feel in the batter's box tonight?
I feel good. I feel pretty good. I missed a couple pitches, but I feel pretty good.
Now, you missed it, Peter, because you had an appointment, but it's back.
Oh, lineup watch?
Lineup roulette.
You know, we messed it up, though, Don. Shows we're getting old.
Yeah.
The name of the game was Rest Roulette.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yesterday was Stanton. Today it's Verdugo. Tomorrow, who knows? It's back. It took till September, but it's back.
Wow, that is some wheel.
Yeah, you got to wait till the very end. It's Verdejo? Verdugo. Now, how about this, guys? Not only a big win for the Yankees, big win for the Mets. Yeah. Big night for Tylor McGill.
Yay!
Ty, don't call me Lor McGill. What was working for you last night, sir?
Sinker was really well tonight. A lot of grounders. Just really good, what I wanted. All the off-speed was working. End zone, out of zone. Just overall had a really good command. Just found up to the strike zone.
Listen, you got to really admire that he was able to hold down the excitement. He didn't want to give up too much.
No, I appreciate that.
The hated media, you don't want to give the media any.
That's right. It was not a great offensive night from the Mets, but six shutout innings from McGill. Mets beat the Blue Jays. Braves lose to the Reds. Mets find themselves in sole possession of the third NL wild card
And they
spot.
picked up a half game on the Diamondbacks and the Padres, who were idle. Just one of those seasons. They won this game, Peter, and I know a lot of people weren't watching because the football was on. In the eighth inning on a wild pitch and a pass ball. So there's something going on here. There's a little something going on with the Mets. I don't know what's going to end up being, but when you
saying
start,
some juju?
There's a little juju going on. When you start winning games like that, I'm telling you, there's a little something going on here. There's still 18 games left and all that, but they're getting some breaks. They're finding ways to win on nights where you don't think it's going to be their night. And the bullpen, and Buto gives up the lead, and they come right back and score on a wild pitch and a pass ball.
It makes you start to believe a little bit.
Yeah, something's going on.
Now, not as positive was this moment for our friend Jordan Ronan when asking questions to Kayvon Thibodeau of the Giants.
Pass rush up front, like that's what this team's supposed to be built on. How much? Anybody else got questions? Which?
Kayvon, what happened?
Why is that a big?
Go ahead.
For you?
Go ahead.
What happened on that penalty?
Man, I tried to convert. I think I kind of hooked his face.
What the hell is going on?
Is this
Kayvon just blew off Jordan Ronan?
He doesn't like being asked why he didn't, It's the media. Not that he didn't have a good game.
We didn't talk about this yesterday, but if you missed it, Dexter Lawrence was disappointed the team got booed. And again, I'm not defending those fans that waited outside to boo Daniel Jones. That's just stupid. But Dexter Lawrence, what kind of reception you think you were going to get from the fans when you lay an egg like that? I don't get these players sometimes. He didn't go Evan Neal. That was scorched earth, but really, and is it that? And listen, we know that Thibodeau can be a little rough. We've talked about it, Peter, from that our meeting with him in training camp a couple of years ago. I like him, but what? So there's a question that skews negative, and now you don't have to answer it, and Jordan's a bad guy.
By the way,
Jordan replace his recorder and his pen with a red and blue pom poms and wave them in the locker room? What exactly do you expect the media to do?
But the defense got knocked around by the Minnesota Vikings, by Sam Darnold. I
I
don't know what you expected. Here's the Dexter Lawrence comments on fans.
Could I hear the fans?
Yeah, I mean, they
however many fans there are?
Yeah, booing at home. Yeah, booing your team.
Could I hear them?
Yeah.
Can you get another question, please?
Do you pay? What do you make of that? What do you make of the booing?
I mean, I don't respect it, honestly. I get it. They want to see their team win. It's just a rough patch. I mean, it just is what it is.
It's a rough patch. It has been
tell you, I still don't like what he said.
10-year patch.
But the stuff that went viral was the last part. I would like to know who asked the question. I mean, come on. Really, it's a football game. A lot of bad things happened. A lot of things that you can ask X's and O's. How if the fans? Come on. If you got nothing, don't ask a question. There's been plenty of times I've been in a locker room in the scrum, Michael,
and you got nothing,
and I didn't ask a question. Because I didn't have one. Well, that to me felt like, well, I got to ask a question. I'm here. I have to ask a question so I can tell everybody that I had a chance to talk to Dexter Lawrence after the game. I can tell my grandchildren, I talked to Dexter Lawrence after the game. But unfortunately, I'm not good at what I do. So I had to ask a question. So what I did is I thought back in my mind and I said, I'll ask about the fans booing. That's a good question, isn't it? No, it's a stupid question. All right? What do you expect the guy to say? Oh, I loved it. I rubbed it on myself. I swear to God, I'm not going to say it. Because there's a lot of guys that I respect. But I got to tell you, I've been covering football for over 20 years. I covered the Jets for 16. I covered the Giants before it. There's a lot of people that are good at what they do, and there's a lot of guys that are bad. There's a lot of people that cover football that have no idea what they're doing. None. Come up with a better, what do you think the fans, come on, dude, I don't know. What is TMZ showing up to games now? You can't ask a question about football? I'll defend the media to the hilt, but come on, it's a tired question, Michael, and it's a gotcha question because it's probably going to be an uncomfortable answer that'll go viral, and you get the flex your muscles that I asked the question.
So then he did his job.
Well, if that's the job, then you know what? Everybody's right about the media. We're a bunch of pigs.
You think it's unfair? That crowd was booing 3 plays into the game, Don.
It's a lazy
You think
question.
it's unfair question to ask about the boo? You're wrong.
Well,
they were booing 3 plays into the game.
All right, you can disagree. You're wrong. All right, don't talk to me like that, Michael, okay?
Listen, I disagree with you. Let me articulate it better. I disagree with your premise.
But don't say
the guy 3 plays in, they were booing, and you're not supposed to ask about it?
I'm entitled to my opinion, okay? I'm a little tired of being told you're wrong.
All right, your opinion is wrong.
Well, that'll do it for ENN. A very spirited end there to ENN. Brought to you by our friends over at Security Dodge. Shop 24/7 at securitydodge.com during their Ram Power Days event.
All right, we'll come back with more of this joy right here on Yes and 880 ESPN.
Want to turn hair loss into hair gains? With Hims, discover a range of prescription treatments in a variety of convenient forms, like the quick-drying 4-in-1 spray. Products are formulated with doctor-trusted ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil, so you can stop hair loss and regrow hair in just 3 to 6 months for more confident hair days. Regain thicker, fuller hair now. Get started today at hims.com.
Family won't let that happen. And our extended family, they give their all every single day. And our community, well, they expect that.
I want a cup of Bigelow tea to be a moment just for you. That's what I hope for.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road, as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
Your memory is an amazing thing, but sometimes it can start to slow down. But did you know Prevagen can help keep your memory sharp? The secret is the powerful ingredient apoaquarin, originally discovered in jellyfish and found only in Prevagen. In a clinical study, Prevagen was shown to improve memory in subgroups of individuals who are cognitively normal or mildly impaired. Stay sharp and improve your memory with Prevagen. Prevagen, in stores everywhere without a prescription.
the kitchen? No. Dad, are you okay?
Yeah, just stressed out.
Oh, and the melody is sounding so much better. I can play it for you. Wait, where's your guitar?
I gave it to your cousin.
What? That guitar's like your favorite thing.
I don't need it anymore. Some days are just better than others.
I think you should go talk to someone.
It's not that easy.
Have you been thinking about suicide? You can talk to me, Dad.
For years, one company has battled to deliver business products the next day with no freight charges. Now, WB Mason, with their famous fleet of trucks and drivers, faces their biggest challenge, rescuing shipping and packaging buyers from expensive freight charges. That's right. Now, boxes, stretch film, and packaging tape are delivered the very next day at amazingly low prices. So, who do you call for fast delivery and no expensive freight charges? Who but WB Mason?
The best ideas come from solving common problems. My problem, like a lot of other men, I couldn't find a shirt that looked good untucked. So this became my passion, to design a shirt that captures the perfect balance between length and fit. Easy to say, not that easy to do. But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
With Chevy trucks, be ready for adventure. With power you can count on. Capability that doesn't compromise. A hard-working EV with more range than any competitor. And the potential to take you anywhere. It's Chevy truck season. Get 1.9% financing, plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. See your local Chevy dealer.
I'm going to ask you a series of questions about your life, your career, and everything in between that we've uncovered. They're all centered on numbers. Some of the numbers might be familiar to you, but they all add up to tell your story. What do you want fans to think about when they see the number 23?
I wanted to be somebody different on the field, to be just known for baseball.
The Story of My Number, presented by the New York Lottery. Streaming now exclusively on the Yes app.
This program is brought to you in part by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 or over.
Emma, promise you won't vape, Emma. Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
You got a minute?
You are. Talk to your child about vaping today.
It's time for Diamond Notes, brought to you by London Jewelers. So we touched on this earlier. The Yankees made a decision to play Jason Dominguez in left today, and that means Alex Verdugo's out of the lineup after hitting a home run in yesterday's game. Boone said today that Judge is going to be in center field when he's in the outfield, and Dominguez will be in left field when Judge is in center field. And although Dominguez this is me talking, Dominguez is better positioned to center, not left. They're not moving Aaron Judge to left after moving him to center from right field. Boone also said, according to Gary Phillips of the Daily News, that he talked to Alex Verdugo about having a fluid role moving forward, but the manager didn't want to share more about that conversation. I'll tell you what that conversation was like. Verdugo couldn't have been happy. He's finally hitting. Last 15 games, he's 18 for 54, 333, as Don mentioned earlier. He hit a home run yesterday, only his second home run since the All-Star game. And the GM on Friday in Chicago said that the best chance moving forward was to play Verdugo every single day and left. Just don't know what changed. Don't know. I'm not saying it's a bad move. I'm not saying it's the wrong move. Don, I just don't know how this happened.
And listen, the fans are thrilled because they want Verdugo out of there and have Dominguez play. So you're seeing comments that this is the best lineup. So, the fans are going to get excited about it. But you could feel for Verdugo. I mean, he's told one thing, and then he goes out there and hits a home run. He doesn't get benched after not hustling it down the first base line, gets defended by his coach blindly, and then hits a home run. Now, tonight, he's part of Rest Roulette. And what's going to happen tomorrow? So the fans are going to back the Yankees on this one, but there's just an inconsistency in the air about it. But if they go out there and they continue to win and they got the bats going last night, then nobody's going to complain about it. But I know nobody feels for Verdugo, but it kind of just feels like you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. And I don't know if you saw Boone was salty again with our boys at John Boy.
What's up? How?
Because I forget which one of them said that Torres is the worst defensive second baseman in baseball. And what was the word that
what
Boone
did Aaron
used?
say?
Boone, he's asinine. That's right. He called it asinine. Is it? He's got 17 errors.
Well, it's the most errors of any second baseman.
Yeah,
so it might not be true, but asinine is strong.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, listen, you could disagree and say there's metrics to tell you that that's not the case, but is it that ridiculous to say that he's the worst defensive second baseman in baseball when he's got the most errors of any second baseman in baseball? I understand you wanted to defend your players, but I thought that was unfair to the John Boy guys to make it sound like it's.
It was a good day for baseball, Yankee and Met baseball fans yesterday. The Yankees won, the Orioles lost. And by the way, don't sleep on the Red Sox. The four-game weekend set with the Red Sox just became tougher because the Red Sox are now within striking distance of that third wild card spot, which is now a tie between the Twins, there's a tie between for the third spot is a twin spot. It's a tie between the Mariners, the Tigers, and the Red Sox. They're all 3 games behind the Twins. So the Red Sox are playing the Orioles tonight again. Right. And so the Yankees are a game and a half in front of the Orioles, 2 games in the loss column. That's huge. And for the Mets, Don, it couldn't have played out any better for the Mets yesterday. They won a game that you could kind of put under the heading of fortunate because, they blew the lead, and then Toronto just kind of handed it back to them, and the Braves lost 1-0 to the Reds in a makeup game, and both the Padres and the Diamondbacks were idle. So the Mets are in pretty good shape right now.
I don't know if this is good or bad. I'm going to take it as good because I want to spin positive here. But that was the third game in the last few days where I thought the Mets were going to lose, and I was surprised they won. There were 2 games against, I believe, one a game against the Reds. There was another, it might have been both games against the Reds. And last night where they blow the lead, they got 1 hit, Michael. They got a 1-0 lead. They lose that. It becomes 2-1. They give up the 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning. Budo doesn't have it. He's throwing the ball all over the place. Can't find the strike zone, which is becoming a bit of an issue. He's got a wild hair up his nose all of a sudden. And then they come back in the top half of the 8th inning, Michael, and they score on a wild pitch and a pass ball. And then Diaz comes in. You sweat it out a little bit, put the tying run on, and then gave up a long fly out to end the game. But you're kind of waiting, and it did come up a loss on Sunday, Michael. But they're winning the majority of these games, not really hitting well. The bullpen's giving it up a little bit lately, but yeah, they find a way to still come back and win. Braves get shut out 1-0. Diaz's brother gets the save in that one. And then Diamondbacks and Padres are idle, so they gain a half game there. And as long as they keep all 3 of these teams within striking distance, and that's good for them, Michael, because it doesn't even have to be about the Braves. Maybe they don't have to win that series against the Braves, but just to keep up with the Diamondbacks and the Padres. It might not be about the Braves. It might be about the Diamondbacks. It might be about the Padres. They could still end up as the first wild card here.
And that would be the best thing because then you'd have the 3 games at Citi Field.
Then you get it at home, and so we'll see, Michael. There's 18 games left. Things can change. Alonso not great last night. Lindor not great. Again, not great offensively at all last couple of days. But finding ways to still win games and stay in this thing. And, yeah, the schedule's going to get a little tougher. That's why you got to mop up on these Blue Jays. Not a great team. Bichette's out. Win these next 2, and then see what you can do against Philadelphia once you come back home.
All right, I have a little treat here. You guys want to hear the exchange between John Boy and Aaron Boone?
Yeah.
All right, this is from our good friends at Talkin' Yanks. This is the conversation with Aaron Boone.
Jazz has been great on hot shots. He's got an awesome arm, coming in on the ball still. There's been, sometimes where it's like, well, he's not a third baseman by trade. Gleyber has not had a good season defensively.
I think you need to stop with the Jazz stuff. Like, if you're not made a couple mistakes over there, but it's been really good. Well,
then if that's not available for conversation, then I'll stick you on the other one, because Glaber's been the worst second baseman of the league defensively.
I will push back on that as far as the worst. He's made the most errors. And he has not been close to the worst.
Inside edge tracks poor plays as well, and Gleyber has 11 of those, 17 errors, so 28 poor plays. Next would be 16. If I'm not talking about one, I'm going to make sure I get my points on the other. He's been very poor.
The worst is a reach. He's made mistakes, no doubt about it. He leads the league in errors. I understand that. But there's also the good plays, too, that factor in. So to say he's the worst in the league is...
Okay, one of the worst.
The problem.
Where's the
you didn't say asinine, by the way.
Yeah, but that's what the headlines are all saying.
Right.
So,
but I will tell you this, Don. The worst nightmare of anybody that's an analytics team. These guys know those numbers.
I know.
They're throwing those numbers right back at him, and he doesn't like it. So I understand that Aaron doesn't want somebody saying that his player's the worst, but it's not outrageous to say he is.
Yeah, it's not a reach, as he put it. You could say that I think he's going to play better. You could say I'll take those errors because I think he's made some other big play. But to say that it's a reach, I think it's discounting the stats that I'm sure they're using as well.
I think that it's a tough spot for him because you don't want to just sit there as someone describes one of your players as the worst in the league and not offer any sort of defense if you're still playing that player. But he probably went a little bit far. Maybe you just have to say, hey, that's not how I view it, but anyways, and continue. But you see what I'm saying, Michael? Yeah. It is hard to just accept it and keep talking like that. Now you're co-signing.
No, but he doesn't have to do that. He doesn't have to just accept it, but he doesn't have to be so combative with it. I mean, they've got numbers that tell you that he's not very good.
Right.
And I'm not saying that Aaron is doing this, Michael, because Aaron's a great guy. I really do like him. But it does come across like you don't value their opinion, like they're just fans. Who cares what you think? Oh, listen, these guys, I know they're fans, Michael, but they do the work.
They've got numbers to back up their opinions.
And believe me, listen, the Yankees may have more numbers, but if you want to get into a digging contest, I'm sure these guys are able to dig up numbers just as easily as you can.
But that's why I find the numbers conversation on both ends stupid. Like that's not the only way to describe what happens in the sport.
It's not some caller saying he's the worst, and then you ask them why. No, they're not. They're just formulating this. First of all, they're formulating the opinion because they watch every pitch.
Yeah.
And they also have access to numbers to back that up. So at least you're talking to people that are doing the homework, not just passionate fans that are just grabbing opinions for shock.
100% true.
Jimmy and Jake do the work. Well, that was the Diamond Notes brought to you by London Jewelers. Visit London Jewelers. We'll revisit the Jets. Lost to the 49ers yesterday, but first, Peter has to talk about FanDuel.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. So you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
The next Mega Millions drawing is presented by Jackpocket. Jackpocket lets you order official state lottery tickets right on your phone. Just pick your numbers and place your ticket order. See a scan of your ticket right in the app. And get your winnings instantly. Go to jackpocket.com to get the app and get your first ticket free. Jackpocket, America's #1 lottery app.
How easy is it to play the lottery with Jackpocket? Step 1, grab your phone. Step 2, download Jackpocket and start ordering tickets for your favorite state lottery games. Step 3, let the good times roll. Jackpocket is so easy to use from home or on the go. And there have been over $500 million in total prizes won. So now, the easiest way to enjoy the lottery is right in your pocket. Jackpocket. Download America's #1 lottery app today.
Hey everyone, I am Tegan of Half-Baked Harvest, and I am back on the Home Chef menu. Home Chef really takes the stress out of cooking and makes it fun again. You literally just take everything out of the box and start cooking it. Don't miss out on Half-Baked Harvest recipes on the Home Chef menu.
Listen, we get that ordering a suit online can seem a little risky. That's why we have a home try-on program. Go to thebblacktux.com/try. With so many good options, it might be hard to choose. We'll ship your selection to you to try out for 48 hours on us. When it arrives, put it on and make sure every detail's perfect. Once your 2 days are up, pack it back in the box, attach the free shipping label, and send it back to us. And when you're ready to rent for real, just head back to the Black Tux and make your order official.
Cups. Forget flying cars. This is it. We're at the pinnacle.
Hi, Eric.
Hi, Mel. Is now good for a quick catch-up on your plan?
Yes, now's great.
Has anything changed since we last spoke?
You know what? Yes, I'm thinking more long-term.
Great. We'll make that change to your plan and adjust as needed.
This helps a lot.
Bye, Mel.
Bye. Make sense of your money with Citizens.
Visit linkedbylovetv.org to learn more about kidney disease, transplantation, and prevention. Get the facts, get checked, and get healthy.
Told by one of our listeners that the clip cut off before the word asinine was used.
Well, then that was the money quote. I mean, that was the reason, like, because I do think that's pejorative, right? Like, to just say that, well, a nice way to say it, it's a reach.
Right, which he said, which
I disagree with, because it's not a reach, but that's a nice way to say it. But then you throw asinine out, it's almost like, what do you bother me? You're wrong. And I don't think they've got, like, they do the work. I know that they're fans and they're wearing their Yankee hats and they say we, and I get they're fans. And I'm not trying to take away from fans that don't do the work, because you're not supposed to do the work. But they have a podcast, and it's not just rah-rah Yankees or bash Yankees. They do a tremendous amount of work, and they take the fact that they get to talk to Aaron Boone every week very seriously. So I think Boone should treat them a little better when they disagree.
All right, let's move on to the Jets. So we opened the show talking about the game last night. It wasn't pretty. The Jet defense couldn't stop the run. The Jet defense, which is supposed to be one of the best defenses in football, certainly didn't exhibit that. They couldn't get off the field. They allowed the 49ers to score in 8 straight drives. After the first possession punt, 8 straight drives after that. And they ended up losing 32-19. Now, they lost 32-19 to a Niner team without Christian McCaffrey. We found that out after we got off the air yesterday. So that would lead you to believe that if the Jets are indeed a championship team, and they still might become that, but on September 9th, they were so far from a championship team that they didn't belong on the field with the 49ers. Now, it makes it very interesting. Let's just put that game aside, because before that game even took place, based on last year's records, the Jets had the 4th easiest schedule of any team in football. So now we've taken one of the tough games out. So now over the next 16, I haven't seen it calculated anywhere. It's got to be easier than the 4th easiest, probably the 3rd, maybe even drop to the 2nd. So Don and I broke this down a little bit earlier, and Peter could join in as well. They've got 5 games that if they are really the good team that everybody says they are, you beat the Titans, you beat the Patriots, you beat the Broncos, you beat the Vikings, and then you play the Bills in Week 6. That's a game that you should take as well. So let's even take the Bills out of it. The next 4 games they have to win, And I say have, and I don't mean it literally, because you could lose whatever and still come back with a great finish. But if you're going to prove to me that you're a legitimate contender to play the AFC Championship game, what would you say, Don? You at least have to go 3-1 in these 4 games?
Yeah, I think 4-1. I don't think Minnesota's very good.
Well, so you're including the Bills then. So I said if you take the Bills out.
No, because the next 4 games are at Tennessee, home against the Patriots, home against the Broncos, at the Vikings, which is a London.
And then the Bills.
And then the Bills would make it 5-1. So I think they have to be 4-1.
No. I'm saying of those 5 games, so you already lost a 49er game.
Okay.
What would you be satisfied with in those 5 games?
Oh, yeah, they're 4-2.
You'd be no. So you're
6-1.
including you want them to be 4-1 in the next 5.
Yes.
So you're going to give them a stub of the toe along the way. That's fair. So that would make them 4-2 over the first 6 games. Obviously,
if you count the Bills game.
If you're counting the 49ers loss.
Right, but they're 0-1.
Right.
Then Tennessee, New England, Denver, Minnesota. That's the 4.
Right.
I think they're winning all 4 of those games. So they'd be 4-1 for the home game against the Bills. I think that's what you should expect from this football team.
So
even
if they're not 4-0 in the next 4, you're going to be a little concerned?
Yes.
How about you, Peter?
I think that at Titans game this weekend, I know the Titans made a couple of mistakes this past weekend and blew a game that they almost won on the road. But that was a pretty impressive start, Michael, that they sort of botched there. I think this Titans team is pretty good. That's a tough road game. Certainly home Patriots. If you don't win that, this season is not what you think. Home Broncos, you have to feel pretty good about that.
In London against Minnesota.
Sorry, and then London, Minnesota. That's a tough game.
So would you say they're 4.5-point favorite last I checked on the road against Tennessee? So that would be a tough game to lose.
I'm not laying it, though. I'm not
All right, that's
touching
fine. That's fine. And you know they're going to be favored against the Patriots. I think at home against the Broncos, they'll be favored.
I would think so.
Minnesota's interesting because if Minnesota continues to win, it's a neutral site game, but I have a feeling the Jets will be favored there. So I'm just looking at the next 4 games, they should be favored to win.
Yep.
So you're not really asking a lot. And then you're home against Buffalo, Michael, and they've kind of had the Bills' number at MetLife. I mean, they beat them last year with Zach, with Zach
Wilson,
yeah. So
it's 3.5, by the way, the Titans game.
Okay, I saw maybe it's moving. The line's moving towards Tennessee. We'll see. But and not that Vegas is the end all be all, but I was a little surprised by the take from Alan Hahn. We played it in one of the promos. That he doesn't care. He's not playing. So what? They're going to learn from it.
Well, the show before our show, Don, was very bullish on the Jets.
And I'm bullish on them, too. But I'm sorry. There's not every win and loss are defined the same. All right, you expected them to lose in San Francisco. I can't argue with you. I thought the Jets would win. I was wrong, but I don't think anybody's shocked that they lost in San Francisco to a real good 49er team. But when your strength is your defense and they get shredded, that does not look good. I mean, so I think it'll be better, but I think you could be disappointed and yet still at the same time say, I think they're going to turn it around. But to completely ignore what happened yesterday when you give up points in 8 consecutive possessions, that's not good. So I think they'll turn it around. So go out there, win the next 4 games, be a 4-1 football team, and then all will be forgiven.
Listen, Michael, step 1 happened, okay? Aaron Rodgers played a full game and looked capable to me of being Aaron Rodgers. I know he wasn't the Aaron Rodgers we need him to be, but I don't know how you guys feel. I feel I saw enough to believe he could be Aaron Rodgers. So that was our little
It's funny because I was going to ask you this because I got jumped by our listeners because I said he was mid. He wasn't bad. I'm not saying he was bad at all. He certainly wasn't what he's expected to be. He was okay. You think he was better than okay?
No, I said I saw enough to believe he could be the guy still.
Okay.
It was his first game in a very long time against a stout defense, a team that knows how to win on the road. I don't hate what I saw from him. Now the next thing I need to see is that this defense is not a complete and total joke.
And I think I have all the confidence they'll be able to bounce back. And I believe that Aaron Rodgers is going to be fine. I looked at Rodgers' performance last night as one of the positives, Peter, in last night's game. And that's where kind of Michael took exception. We could argue mid. I don't think Michael's wrong.
Now, for the record, it should be noted that mid, when used as slang,
is average.
It has a negative connotation.
Right,
it's actually below average.
All right, but
mid kind of means a little below average.
I think Michael means it is average, right?
No, I mean it is average. Yeah.
All right. So, to me, that exceeded my expectations. To Michael, it didn't accept, because I didn't know what to expect going in, having not played for almost 2 years against a really good defense on the road. Am I wrong to think, Peter, that Rodgers' performance was a positive last night?
A positive? No. Because to me, at this stage, to see him healthy, complete a game, and throw a few balls where he looks like Aaron Rodgers, to me, I'm okay with seeing that as a positive. I didn't expect him to come out in game one.
Well, you guys are really setting a low bar. This is Aaron bleeping Rodgers.
It's Aaron bleeping Rodgers, who's 40 and hasn't played in 2 years, man. I just wanted to see that the guy had it. He took a sack, got knocked around a little bit. I saw Aaron Rodgers in there. So, yeah, my bar was relatively low. Now, Michael, if he plays like that in week 4, we're having a different conversation about what this team is.
I think it's going to gradually get better and better, and we'll see where it tops out at. Is it going to top out at MVP? I think that ship sailed. Could it top out as better than 2022? I think so.
Yeah, I think it could still. I believe that's possible. Remember, there also early on had a couple moments where he didn't get helped out. Allen Lazard drops an easy first down. Another drive got stopped short. There were a couple of moments where he could have gotten more help and didn't. But he also had some plays where he wasn't great.
But there was a play at the 50 in the fourth quarter before they turned it over to Tyrod Taylor. You know, they were still 2 scores behind. Mm-hmm. And even Saleh brought this up. And even Rodgers brought this up. 3rd and 1 at the 50? And you can't pick up 1 yard on 3rd down and 4th down? What's going on? What was wrong with Breece Hall? Aaron Rodgers can't come out with 1 yard in that situation? The game's on the line. Your chance to win the game is on the line.
Well, you know, that's actually a fair conversation, too, considering the way Breece Hall has been talked about this offseason. And essentially, for people who are into fantasy football, Madden, whatever it may be, Breece Hall basically talked about like he's the second best running back in all of football. 3.4 yards a carry, Michael, 16 carries, 54 yards. Didn't wow anyone last night either.
No, he has to be better.
There's between the defense and Breece Hall last night, before you even get to the fact that Rodgers did. And by the way, let's be real, he did not throw the ball a lot, guys.
They didn't have the ball.
They didn't have the ball. He threw it 21 times. You're not only disappointed if you don't think Rodgers was great, but yeah, the running game wasn't great and the defense was horrid. The biggest star that I give to the game is that Allen Lazard gave you what he gave you. I didn't expect that.
Well, I did expect that because I think Lazard was completely out of the season when Rodgers went down. Those two have a connection, and I think that Rodgers, in his mind, said, "I'm going to make Allen," because that's his player. He told the Jets to sign him.
Yep.
And I think he's going to go to him a lot. So he went to him on the one free play, which to me that was vintage Rodgers. That was so smart to run that play up the seam, boom, touchdown, and then he got the garbage time touchdown with Tyrod Taylor. So Allen Lazard has 2 TDs. They're going to have to expand their offense. It can't just be Garrett Wilson and
well, I mean, 1 target to Tyler Conklin's not what you want either.
And also Mike Williams is coming back from injury, so it's going to take a while with him. But they've got to incorporate all of it. It can't be a 2-man offense. It can't.
Hey, if you believe the Jets are a Super Bowl contender, I think that opinion took a bit of a hit last night. But the good news is you got a long season to change that narrative. So I think it's a little too positive for Bart and Hahn to think, oh, no big deal. But I also think it's a huge negative to think, oh, well, they're done. Forget it. It's going to be another long season. I did see a lot of that last night, too. I think it was a tough game that they're going to have to improve. Puts the onus, maybe Michael, if they play better last night, maybe you take a slip in the next 4. But now I think you need to make a little bit of a statement here. Win the games you're favored to win, and be 4-1 when you take on the Buffalo Bills. Maybe a battle for first place in the AFC in a big early game on the docket. That's what I fully expect this team to do.
You know what I don't get, guys? I just don't understand it. And I'm not into internecine battles with other shows. We love everybody that works at the station. But how do you just write off yesterday's game as no big deal? To me, it was a litmus test. Where are we? What are we looking at here? This is the top. 49ers are one of the best teams in football. How do you match up? You didn't. How's that inconsequential? You didn't come close to matching up with a team that's favored to go to the Super Bowl. How do you just give that away? And a team that's supposed to go to the Super Bowl and they don't have their best player playing. It's beyond me how you can just wipe it away. I'm not saying that it's a devastating loss, but boy, I think Don just said it best. If you think they're a championship-level team, if that doesn't break down that thought, I don't know what will. Because the 49ers are a championship-level team, and you didn't come close. You didn't come close against them. You were outmaneuvered in every part of the game other than punting. And you know what? The 49ers didn't have many punts. I don't get it. It doesn't bother me. It's not a big deal. Really? Really? So then you're not that great of a team. If you get waxed by a team that's great and you don't care about it, then you must not think that you're that great.
I got to agree with Michael on that. You can't tell me that your expectations for this team is basically Super Bowl and that you thought they would really compete in week one. They come out looking at best flat, at worst bad, and it doesn't affect you whatsoever. Like, there has to be some level of grading each game. I get not wanting to cancel the season, but Michael's right. You got to take them down a peg.
I believe it was that first or second Super Bowl for the Patriots where they lost to the Bills like 41-0 early in the season. You look at the Jets when they were blasted on Monday Night Football by the Patriots, ended up beating them in the playoffs in Foxborough. So, listen, it's September, and nobody should be judged for Super Bowl in September. But you could still look at it and go, that's disappointing. I was really hoping for a better showing, didn't get it. All right, I think they can get off the map, but just to completely look at it and go, oh, it's no big deal, I hope the Jets aren't looking at it that way, because that defense, if they play that way moving forward, then I'm not confident, Michael, they're going to win the next 4 games. That they might be able to get beaten by a Tennessee team in Tennessee or lose to Sam Darnold. I mean, what if Sam Darnold lit them up, Michael, in London? You're going to say that's no big deal?
And I'm going to tell you another thing. I watched Saleh on the SNY postgame. He wasn't happy. He didn't feel like them. Oh, no big deal. Listen, if they lost yesterday, would I care? No, it doesn't matter. But when you get outclassed, to say that it doesn't matter, then why play the game? Just give them a loss. Oh, it's a really tough spot. You're going cross country. You know what? You didn't play your guys during the preseason. They're all rested. You left on a Saturday for a Monday night game. You're not exhausted. I'm sorry. That's got to be some kind of a negative connotation to it.
And also, Michael, let's focus on this defense for a second. All right, it is statistically a top 5 defense, but I've seen them get scorched. I saw Dallas destroy them. I saw Miami destroy them last year. I saw Buffalo, that second meeting in Buffalo, rip them apart. I mean, they've had moments where they've had breakdowns. You even said it yourself about questioning exactly how good a defense this is. So
I think I said they weren't the 85 Bears.
Right, and they're not the 85, although that was suggested last year. But no, and I don't think you can be the 85 Bears. There's always going to be, you're going to give up points. Nobody's asking you to shut people out like the Bears did in 85. But, if you are a championship caliber team, I would expect your defense to play better than giving up points on 8 consecutive drives. Now, they did settle for field goals, the 49ers, so maybe that's a good thing. But I think this defense, we sometimes take it for granted. I'm guilty of this, too, to just make it like a fait accompli. This defense is going to keep them in every game. They're one of the best defenses in football. Well, they weren't last night against a real elite team. And if you're going to be competing for a Super Bowl, that means you're going to have to get through some pretty elite teams. What would the Kansas City Chiefs have done to this defense last night? What would the Baltimore Ravens have done to this defense? What would the Miami Dolphins with their speed do to this defense? So the 49ers are a really good team, but I expected a better showing. And the good news is there's still 16 games left in the season to change the narrative.
Mike Puma of the New York Post reporting Paul Blackburn not showing improvement with his lower back. The plan is for Tyler McGill to stay in the rotation spot for the next turn, either against the Phillies this weekend or the Nationals back at Citi Field. So he missed yesterday's start, and he's going to miss one more. Let's take some phone calls, 1-800-919-3776. Andres in Lyndhurst. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, thank you, guys. I've been waiting for this because as a Jets fan, we've been through hell and back, right? If you think about it, the scheme that Kyle Shanahan drew up yesterday, he's an offensive genius, right? He drew it up because he knows what Salah's going to throw at him. Salah came from his system. So if you think about it from that perspective, of course they're going to go down and score. Our defense is going to look suspect a bit, right? But I think we did a great job.
But wait, Andres, let me bring one point up. Saleh also knows Shanahan, so why wouldn't he have countered it? I mean, he's a defensive genius. Why wouldn't he have countered that?
Saleh's a bad coach. Let's leave
He's not a bad defensive coach, Andres.
That's a different conversation for a different day. But as a Jets fan, we're rejoicing, right? Even though we lost, we're rejoicing. I sat in a bar yesterday because I have DirecTV, and that's a whole other conversation with DirecTV. But I sat in a bar yesterday watching the game. And got to see how well the ball moved with Aaron Rodgers. We had Zach Wilson, Trevor Siemian, a whole bunch of yo-yos quarterbacking for us. And, you know, we're rejoicing. Even though we lost, we got to see what real football looks like. But for you Giants fans to speak on how bad we're doing, you know, you guys have Daniel Jones. The team stinks.
Who's the Giant fan? Who's the Giant fan?
Who's the Giant? What are you talking about? I've been nothing but fair about the Jets today. What do you think? Will you think anything we said has anything to do with the Giants?
You guys are Giants fans. Michael's a Giants fan. Peter's a Commanders fan. Is the Sting Bowl coming up on Sunday?
Well, then I'm sorry. Goodbye. I'm not going to stand for this disrespect. I did the Jets for 16 years. I'm on the air to talk about it. You think that our agenda is about being the Giant? Dude, you have a team that's got a chance to compete. You have a team that is in the conversation to be able to make the playoffs and have a fun season. What are you worried about the Giants for? Talk about little brother, big brother. Give me a break. I mean, why are the Giants even on your radar? Giants are an embarrassment. The Giants aren't going to compete this year. You are going to compete.
By the way, Don literally was just,
you know, whatever.
Don really just said that his view of the team did not change at all because of last night's game. Michael and I were a little harder. I've expressed completely in earnest how much I desperately want this team to be good. But also, with all due respect, bro, I mean, listen to the phone call you just made to a radio station. Just to be clear, you are an adult man in America, and you called up and said you are proud and happy that your team played a semblance. I
think he said rejoiced.
You rejoiced that you had a semblance of a competent offense. That's embarrassing, bro. And you should expect, honestly, as a Jets fan, you should want more. I'm not saying you have to be angry today and Don pounding your fist on the table, but rejoicing? No, you should be disappointed. Last night was not good. I'm not willing to throw away the season. They could be great, but you should not be rejoicing last night. Come on, man. Happy that Aaron Rodgers was healthy? Yes. Happy that he threw a couple balls that looked like old A-Rod? Yes. Rejoicing that it looked better than Trevor Siemian, Zach Wilson, or Mike White? Come on, man. You're embarrassing your family.
Yeah, family.
Your whole lineage.
Your lineage, your future children's children are embarrassed by that call, Andres. Be better.
You almost went sterile because of that opinion.
Wow. Well said, Don. How about BetMGM?
Baseball fans.
I love my fruit to the root. I love my fruit, they a wonderful treat. I love my fruit, they so juicy and sweet. I love my fruit, every flavor and taste. I love my fruit, every color and shape. I love my fruit to the root. Fruits in my smoothies, mango so groovy. Melons and limes, sometimes I get choosy. Bananas for breakfast, blueberries for brunch. Pineapples for dinner, fruit salad for lunch. Even though oranges don't rhyme, they don't. I'm still gonna eat them, they mine. I love my fruit, every flavor and taste. I love my fruit, every color and shape.
Custom Ink helps us celebrate and drive our students' achievements with custom gear. They love Custom Ink's different styles and designs. We love how Custom Ink makes the process simple with their easy-to-use design lab, expert artists ready to help, and unbeatable customer service. Custom Ink allows our kids to show everyone their accomplishments and the pride they have in our school. When we place an order, I know they got our back, so we can focus on the kids.
We make it easy to wow all your groups with high-quality custom apparel, accessories, and promo products, all backed by our guarantee at customink.com.
A message from away to those trying to follow in our footsteps, to match our style, our durability, our attention to detail, our smoothness, and our ability to pack more into every trip. Go ahead, keep trying. And don't just take our word for it. It's good to get away. Shop in store or at awaytravel.com.
Having those high interest credit cards, it felt unmanageable. My name is Belinda, and with Upstart, I was able to save money with a personal loan. From the moment that I checked my rate to getting that approval was just a few minutes. I felt relieved having the funds in my account so quickly. I was able to turn all of those, big payments into one small payment, and I was able to breathe.
Easy online borrowing. Personal loans up to $50,000. Go to upstart.com.
In our nature, diverse cultures, identities, skills, and knowledge. Diversity is in nature, too. Biodiversity. Plants, animals, and ecosystems. It connects us and sustains us. But nature's biodiversity is at risk now more than ever before. And our own future is at stake. So ask yourself, how can you contribute to protecting all life on our planet? Because the future is in our hands.
This is the GMC Sierra, powered by the TurboMax engine, with the confidence of 430 pound-feet of best-in-class standard torque. GMC Sierra, it's the truck. Current eligible GMC lessees can get this low-mileage lease on this 2024 Sierra Elevation for around $389 per month. We are professional-grade GMC.
If you're an asbestos victim, pay close attention. Billions of dollars are being paid out to people like you. We should know. We're Whites & Luxembourg, the law firm that already won over $9 billion for men and women just like you. That's right, over $9 billion for mesothelioma sufferers and their families. We know you're short of money, and we know you're short of time, so we fight hard. Call Whites & Luxembourg at 917-LAWYERS. That's 917-LAWYERS. Whites & Luxembourg, winning big for the little guy.
Do you spend hours maintaining your gutters? Save that time with LeafGuard's maintenance-free system. Call 1-833-2-GUTTERS. Mesh filters sit on top of your gutters, building up debris and eventually clogging. Then they need to be cleaned too. Honestly, your home should have been built with LeafGuard gutters. LeafGuard's wraparound hood deflects debris and keeps water away from your home. The one-piece seamless system is strong, 20% thicker than average, and built to last. Plus, LeafGuard is guaranteed to never clog for as long as you own your home. Right now, get a complete LeafGuard system for only $99 down, $99 a month, and $99 installation. You'll also receive a $100 Visa gift card with a free gutter inspection and in-home estimate. Damage from clogged gutters can cost you thousands. Never worry about clogged gutters again. Don't wait, you've still got time. Call 1-833-2-GUTTERS today. That's 1-833-2-GUTTERS.
Chance to score a pair of tickets. See the Mets take on the Nationals on Monday, September 16th. Be caller number. Ed Creighton-Poole's number was 7, right, Don?
That's right.
All right, let's be caller number 7 right now at 888-987-3776 to win. It's brought to you by the New York Mets. See the Mets take on the Nationals and the Phillies September 16th through the 22nd. Be there Wednesday, the 18th, when the first 15,000 fans receive a reversible hoodie presented by Citi. And on Saturday, the 21st, all fans receive a fan appreciation beanie presented by Guardian, plus a pregame block party with ballpark fare, giveaways, and entertainment starting at 1:10 p.m. outside Citi Field. Visit Mets.com/tickets. Let's go to Pete in Staten Island. Pete.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
All right. So I got 2 points with the Jets. The first point is, even Allen said it today. You know what? that was a blessing in disguise getting waxed by San Francisco, because now these guys really got to say, they got to look in the mirror and say, we're not as good as we really thought we were.
Well, why would they have thought that, though? Why would they have come in cocky?
You have guys there. You have receivers that had to get blows. You have DBs that were tired. That means they're not even in shape.
Right.
But more importantly, the biggest thing is, think about, they want to go Super Bowl or bust. I mean, Shanahan got waxed by who? Andy Reid. So, you got to really judge yourself against Andy Reid.
If they played the way they played yesterday, Pete, how do you think they do against KC?
That's what I'm saying. I think Andy Reid beats them by 40.
Well, San Francisco did lose in overtime last year, so, they didn't get waxed by Kansas City recently.
But, he struggled against Andy Reid, and Andy Reid obviously is in their conference. So, they had to look in the mirror. Let's take a different approach. Let's say the schedule, they didn't play San Francisco, and they played these next 4 games, and they won, and they're 4-0.
Right.
And then they got waxed. They have to look in the mirror. They could be a good team, but they're not Super Bowl worthy at all.
I think we agree with you, Pete.
It was a blessing in disguise.
But a blessing in disguise, Pete, and thank you for Franco, would mean that this is going to wake them up to be Super Bowl worthy. I just don't understand why. We talked about the Giants not being ready to play against the Vikings. Well, the thing that's most concerning, and Bob Wischusen brought this up, Don and Peter, they got out-toughed.
That's the thing.
They got pushed around the field. Why should they have to look each other in the mirror? Why?
See, the caller's right. If the reason they lost last night was because they were reading their press clippings and psychologically they weren't ready for the game. What he's talking about is the psychological game, the mental preparedness for a game. I saw a lot of physical stuff that need to be corrected. Like, it's not just, we got whacked, we got to think better, we've got to plan better. Yeah, that might be part of it. But the worrisome thing is this something other teams could take advantage of? The physicality San Francisco presented. So if it's just a mental game, Michael, maybe the caller's onto something. They need to wake up. But what if it's not? What if they just not as good as San Francisco? Okay, but Kansas City is. Kansas City is maybe better than San Francisco, and that's one of the teams you've got to get by. So that's why saying this team's going to win a Super Bowl took a hit last night. But there's time to change.
John in Tom's River. John.
Hey, John.
Yes.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Good. Listen, I'm 84 years old. I've never called this station in my life.
Well, welcome
I've been
aboard.
a Giant fan since Y.A. Tittle, Fran Tarkenton, so on and so forth. The Giants are never, ever, ever going to win with this guy Jones. He's not a quarterback.
I think you're right.
I think you're right, John.
I think everybody. I think the Giants realize that.
Sadly,
But you're not telling us anything we don't know. The question is how bad is it? John Mara spoke today. He says he doesn't regret the contract, believes that he's still going to be a good quarterback. I guess that's what you say when you know he's your starter coming up on Sunday. But, Michael, they're not going to win with him. I don't think anybody thinks they're winning a Super Bowl. Can they put together a winning season? Can they find some competence in the guy? But doesn't it feel like it's over, though? Like, does anybody realistically believe he's going to play to the level where those last 2 years of the contract are going to kick in?
If what you said yesterday is true, that there's so much more than just him that's wrong, then I don't think that they can. But if it's just him and he's coached up well, I'm not giving up on the Giants season just yet.
No, and nor should anybody, considering how much time is left. But, where would you bet, Michael?
My bet would be they'd have a really bad year.
Yeah, my bet would be, even if they end up finding a way to survive and win more games than we think, is it really going to be enough for Jones to stick around? That's the thing.
No, I don't think so. I think he's done.
Yeah, it would be, as I said last week, for Daniel Jones to be the quarterback on this team next year would mean that he has the kind of season that is the feel-good story of the NFL this year. He would have to be like, he absolutely balls out to a degree that it's all anyone's talking about.
Because I'll say this, and again, I don't know what their options are going to be, But let's say he duplicates what he did in 2022, and they luck into some wins. I don't know if that's going to be enough.
It's not.
He's got to go out there and throw 25 touchdown passes.
And he's never
got to
done
go out
that.
there and throw 10 interceptions and throw for 3,500 yards. Based off of week one, forget it. I think I played 2 seasons. I'm not sure he'd be able to do that.
Ray in Schenectady. Ray.
How's it going, guys? I wanted to join in on the Jets conversation.
Okay.
We got to be honest about the Jets. They are on a timetable, and there's a window that they have to utilize in order to win. And the harshful truth about it is Aaron Rodgers he's up there in age, all right? Now, with that being said, I feel like that plays into the Hassan Reddick contract, seeing as Hassan wants commitment. He doesn't want to be a window player. He doesn't want to come in for the year and prove himself. We all know what Hassan Reddick is capable of doing. So the issue that I have is they could stop the run if they commit to Hassan Reddick. That's just how I feel.
He's not really a run stopper. He's more of a get-to-the-quarterback guy. But, Ray,
right.
That's why they're not going to give him a long-term deal. The window on the Jets is as long as Aaron Rodgers is going to play. So why would they commit to a 30-year-old Hassan Reddick for the next 3 years? He's never even played it down for them. So I just don't see that happening. I think that his case probably was helped yesterday because they didn't really get to Brock Purdy that much. But the big problem, we thank you for the phone call, was they couldn't stop the run.
But Michael, I think there's a legit concern for Reddick to sign long-term with the Jets because not knowing what it's going to look like post Aaron Rodgers. And I'm not sure the Jets want to commit to him long-term because of where they're going to want to spend money to try to keep this going beyond Aaron Rodgers. But I don't get him not playing this year. He seems to they're not playing at all this year. You think he's still going to get a big-time contract? And if he doesn't play at all this year, the Jets still own his rights. And if he comes in and limps through the final 6 games of the season, you think anybody's going to give him a big-time contract having only played 6 games? They'll give him a contract, but why not go out, ball out, and get a big contract someplace else? That's what makes no sense to me.
None of it makes sense, Don. None of it. Because $800,000 a game, that's a game check, and $5 million in fines for the preseason. He'll never get that money back. What's he doing? I mean, has he read the story of Le'Veon Bell? Has he read it? Has he seen it? Has his agent experienced
it played out fine, right? He went on. He had a great career. He had a few more seasons, rushed for, I think, 1,500 yards, retired, and he's going to the Hall of Fame. No, it's not what happened.
No. Dave in Massapequa. Dave?
How you doing, guys? A little off topic. I'm a Cowboy fan from New York, so
all right, just hang on.
Things are working off pretty good right now. But going to the Jets right now. If you think Salah is the guy, there is no respect for him. Rodgers is completely ignoring Hackett. It's a free for all. There's no one taking accountability.
Well, I mean, I don't know why he'd be ignoring Hackett. It's his handpicked guy.
Hackett's his guy.
Reddick right now has the Jets by the balls.
Well, first of all, you can't say that. Thank you for the phone call. He doesn't, though. You could say that they have leverage over him, which would have been the way to articulate that, Dave.
Yes.
So I think both sides are holding nothing. They don't even have a pair of twos.
No, yeah, I think it's greatly exaggerated that the needle's going to move based off of what happened defensively for the Jets. And as far as Salah, I will say this, though, because remember when we had Ian O'Connor in studio, he said that, the love fest with Rodgers and Salah isn't there anymore.
Yeah, he did.
So if this defense doesn't play well, in Rodgers, Salah loses Rodgers, then he's got no hope of coming back. Like even if the Jets are able to salvage this, go to the playoffs, but there could still be another coach. All he has to say is, I don't want Salah, and Salah's gone.
See, that's what I would always say to every coach and or manager. If what Ian said is true, right? Mm-hmm. You have pretty much bent over backwards for this guy. You've taken everything that you believe in, put it to the side, and you've turned a team over to a player. And it still didn't work out. So a coach should be true to himself. A manager should be true to himself. Not let other people tell you what to do. Not take all of your virtue and the things you believe in and put them on a shelf to satisfy one player. It never works out. Peter, could he have been any more of of a slave to Aaron Rodgers, did everything for Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers, there's no love fest anymore? He'll never have a coach do for him what Robert Saleh did. I know. And what does Robert Saleh get out of it? A damaged reputation. He's not going to be holding a Lombardi trophy. If, in fact, Aaron Rodgers, as Ian O'Connor said, the love affair is gone, that's an awful look. Awful look. You took everything that you believed in and put it on a shelf for one guy. And you're treating him, you know you shouldn't treat a player like that. It can't be 52-1. It can't be. Let's go to Roscoe in Connecticut.
How you doing?
Good. What's up?
Good. Hey, listen, before we get to the Jet game, you guys, you criticize and you give credit to both sides with conviction. That guy from Twitter is just out of his mind. That's one of the reasons why I listen to the show almost every day.
Thanks.
You do it for everybody. And if you don't like what you're hearing, well, that's just too bad.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. And listen, as far as the game goes, I know a lot has to do with personnel on the field. And Aikman told us what we already knew, that most of those calls that he makes are on the field. He could have came out last night and made a statement. Win or lose, he could have made a statement last night. You're playing probably the best team in football. Are you supposed to win? No. Is a win nice? But win or lose, I don't think he came out and showed himself and said, I'm back. So, like Peter said, I want more.
That's how I felt, too. I mean, the best thing we got out of it, Roscoe, is he's healthy. He stayed healthy, and that's what everybody wanted. I think every Jet fan kind of breathed a sigh of relief and play 5.
Yeah, and I think that's the only thing we got out of it. And you guys kind of touched on it, the other couple things I wanted to talk about. That 3rd and 1 call at midfield, you're going for it on 4th down anyway. Throw the ball on 3rd down and give yourself options on 4th. Don't you agree?
I thought about that because you know at that point you've got to continue the drive. You can't punt. So do something wild on 3rd and 1, and then you run the ball on 4th and 1. Or you've got the option to throw as well. Yeah, that was not a great sequence for them.
But I don't know if that's all on Rodgers. I mean, the offensive line, I don't think, did a great job of opening holes for the running game. I thought they did a good job protecting Rodgers, but I don't think they did a great job in run blocking. And yeah, it was a little conservative. You're right. If you know you're going for it on 4th down, the old adage is then open it up on 3rd and 1. But maybe they just assumed that Hall's so good he would have gotten the 1st down. But that on a 3rd and 1 in midfield in this day and age, Michael, you got to assume that you're getting the 1st down. If you're any kind of competent offense, so that was surprising. As good as the 49ers defense is.
Let me ask you this, and I could look really dumb. Why did they go for 2 on the touchdown, the second to last touchdown?
Yeah, isn't that just straight numbers?
No, but is it really? Because you didn't get it, which means that you have to score 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions.
Well, if you get it,
if you get it and you just kick an extra point, then it's 1 touchdown and 1 touchdown with the 2-point conversion.
Wasn't it 20? Wasn't it 26-12?
It's 26-11.
Right. No. It's 26-7.
Right.
You score to make it 26-13.
Right. And then they went for 2.
And then you go for 2 to make it 15, which would mean it's an 8-3.
Right.
That's what you're trying to get inside.
That's the difference
trying to make it a
12
2 possession.
Gotcha.
Right.
So if you kick the extra point,
you're still 3 possessions.
Oh, but no,
or
2 possessions. 2 touchdowns.
Or 2 touchdowns. Yeah. You can't do the field goal. You can't do the field goal in the touchdown.
Yeah, okay. So that makes sense because then it's a touchdown and a field goal.
I don't necessarily love it, but that's the logic.
1-800-919-3776. Kay, LaGreca, Rosenberg, and you right here on Yes and 880 ESPN.
Is it?
Never read a line of poetry, I'm not a poet, but I sit up in the back of my buttons cause I'm fresh. Never read a book on how to rip it, I just know it, I don't need your explanation cause I'm better than the rest. Better than the rest. Better than the rest. Let me take you for a ride. I can make you feel alive.
Welcome to BetMGM Live Dealer. All your favorite casino games, blackjack, poker, roulette, craps, and more. All on your phone, desktop, or tablet 24/7. Play with friends or make new ones at the tables.
Double down, Dave.
Chat with players and live dealers like you're at the casino.
Give me a 10.
Yes! Now you're betting with the king of live dealer.
Make this a summer to share in the 3-row Kia Sorento, the tech-forward Sportage, the available all-wheel drive Seltos, or the IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus Telluride, each one recommended by Consumer Reports. This summer, visit your local Kia dealer. Get 0.9% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of select new 2024 Sportage and 2024 Sorento models.
When you see all the people who work at Shriners Hospitals for Children, you might see everyday people just doing their job. But to me and other kids, they aren't just receptionists, therapists, or doctors. They're superheroes. But these superheroes are only able to help all of us kids because of the support of people just like you who empower their abilities so we get the care we need to live our lives like super kids.
Because of people like you, I can play the violin.
I can play piano. And I can walk. Please go to loveshriners.org right away. Help us be superheroes too.
For years, one company has battled to deliver business products the next day with no freight charges. Now, WB Mason, with their famous fleet of trucks and drivers, faces their biggest challenge, rescuing shipping and packaging buyers from expensive freight charges. That's right. Now, boxes, stretch film, and packaging tape are delivered the very next day at amazingly low prices. So, who do you call for fast delivery and no expensive freight charges? Who but WB Mason?
Everyone deserves the fastest, most reliable internet speeds, regardless of where they live. That's why Spectrum offers the fastest speeds in more neighborhoods than any other provider.
Switch to Spectrum Internet for only $49.99 a month. Call 1-866-895-3521.
With Spectrum Internet, you can power all of your devices to enjoy streaming, video chatting, and gaming. I rely on Spectrum Internet. You should too. Call now.
With Chevy trucks, be ready for adventure. With power you can count on. Capability that doesn't compromise. A hard-working EV with more range than any competitor and the potential to take you anywhere. It's Chevy truck season. Get 1.9% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. See your local Chevy dealer.
While others give you less, Domino's wants to give you more. For a limited time, when you order any 2 or more medium 2-topping pizzas for $6.99 each online, we'll upgrade one to a large for free. Get more inflation, not shrinkflation, only at Domino's.
Allergies? With Allegra, they won't stop me. That's because nothing beats Allegra for the fastest, non-drowsy, 24-hour allergy relief. Choose Allegra.
With Chevy trucks, be ready for adventure. With power you can count on. Capability that doesn't compromise. A hard-working EV with more range than any competitor and the potential to take you anywhere. It's Chevy truck season. Get 1.9% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. See your local Chevy dealer.
Self-inflicted gunshot, 14-year-old male. Just tell me to move. He's not
Welcome back, everybody. everybody. Michael, Don, and Peter with you until 6:20, and then we'll turn it over to Mets baseball. Their coverage starts right about then for the Mets and the Blue Jays on 880 ESPN. Joey in Montclair. Joey.
Hey, gentlemen. Thank you for taking my call. Great show as always.
Thanks.
I have 2 points and 1 question, but I do have clock integrity, so I will be quick.
Oh, thanks.
First, you got it. Pete, first off, thank you for that Commanders take. I'm a huge Giant fan, but I've never heard Griffin from Connecticut with so much squeak in his voice. But if I could provide some grease for that squeaky wheel, you said that the Commanders are going to make the playoffs, and he was all upset because they were a 4-win team last year. But the 2022 Giants that we were ready to throw a ticket tape parade for that won a playoff game, they won 4 games in 2021. So you definitely have a point.
I mean, listen, I'm not saying it's likely, but him acting like it was insane to me in the NFC, I thought was a little odd. But okay. Thank you, man.
Yeah, no, completely. Secondly, I don't understand how any Jet fan can take any pride out of the game last night. And again, I'm a big Giants fan. I think the Jets showed as much of a not ready to play as the Giants. The only difference is they have better quality players, so they put a better product on the field. But they were just as unprepared as the Giants, and I'm upset because I don't expect much from the Giants, but I expected them to be prepared for opening day. And the one question I have, I know the Giants aren't going to make a move anytime soon, but at this point, does Drew Lock actually give us our best chance at winning football?
I just think it's too early, Joey. I mean, Don thought that if they lose against the Commanders, maybe you make that move. But, Drew Lock, it's not like he's your first-round draft pick. I know, I can see if you drafted Drake May and you were waiting to put him in.
All right, but he's got the Commander's number. That's usually where he plays well. And if he goes out there and puts out a stinker, that's 2 straight stinkers in a row, and then you're going to Cleveland that's got one of the best defenses in football on the road. At what point does Dable got to start thinking about trying to save his job? You just can't keep running him out there. For what? If he doesn't really have any future to begin with, Michael, if we're all kind of coming to the conclusion that eventually it's going to end with him not being on this team, I'm not saying Drew Lock's got any kind of future, but don't you want to win games? They just said that the Giants were protected. Andrew Thomas had the best best weekend of any left tackle in football, and yet he couldn't do anything. So if it happens again... it's just my hunch, Michael, that you'll see Drew Lock against Cleveland unless Lock's not ready physically.
Gary in Albany. Gary?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
You got it.
Again, like some of the other guys, I'm not a huge Jets fan. My pushback, only a tiny bit really, because their defense did stink, is with Aaron Rodgers that, hey, he did miss a whole year. How come we're not looking at him in the same way like baseball players? They come off the IL. We give him a couple of days. Hey, he needs to get his timing back. We didn't expect much from Garrett Cole when he came up, and I love Garrett Cole, don't get me wrong.
And you didn't get a lot.
Right, but we also didn't expect much because we're not expecting him to be mid-season form coming off the IL.
Well, because it's a fair point, Gary, and thank you for the phone call, but I think it comes down to this. There's 17 games. Each game is precious.
Well,
and he hasn't played for 22 months, essentially. So he said he was 100%. Everybody said he looked great in training camp. You expect him to look great. He didn't look bad yesterday. Please, don't interpret it that way. He didn't look bad. He was okay. Nobody's putting a lot of... I don't think anybody's down ripped Aaron Rodgers.
No, and that's why, and I understand your point that you don't want to see him get hurt in meaningless games, but... would it have killed him to have him play a couple of series in the preseason? If that would have kicked a little bit of the rust off, maybe get a little bit more out of him in game last night. I mean, if you're telling me Aaron Rodgers could not play it down in 3 preseason games, is what you're saying is I'm fine with a rusty quarterback going into San Francisco. So you put yourself at a bit of a disadvantage, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying they took a knee
you're
on the
hoping,
game.
Don, that this is rust.
Yeah, and I think it is.
Not attrition.
But that was a great drive, as Bob said. When was the last time you saw a Jets team have a 7+ minute drive? And he threw his first touchdown pass, and he had like 3 third-down conversions on that long drive. I mean, you saw a lot of things that you figure are going to get better in the very first game. He did not look awful by any stretch of the imagination, and that's why I look at it as a positive.
Well, we have to say goodbye to Yes. They have a special Meredith Takeover show.
Oh, well, that I support that.
Yeah, she is hosting with Luke Weaver, who's very funny, by the way. So that's coming up, and then the Yankees and the Royals. But we're going to stay right here on 880 and
ESPN
continue
New York.
this party.
Ray Rowe.
That's a wrap on the show for today. Coming up next, our coverage of the Yankees and Royals gets underway with Yankees batting practice today. For all of us here on the Michael K. Show, this is Chris Sharon saying have a great night. We'll see you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
The finest premium arena club in the world comes alive in Brooklyn. Welcome to Crown Club, the Brooklyn Nets' most exclusive club in Barclays Center. Featuring a menu curated by Major Food Group with Carbone classics and a world-class wine list. To learn more about premium memberships at Barclays Center, visit brooklynnets.com/crown-club.
The Bronx. BX. Now streaming on the Yes Network.
2 words. Get here.
Go on an epic journey through the Bronx.
It's absolutely breathtaking.
Stream a new season of Bronx Beat. Now on the Yes app.
Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters.